What do you mean by SAP? A lot of people talk about SAP. Some of them know what they are talking about, while others just have a rough or little idea of SAP. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to know what most people mean by SAP, then this lecture is a good starting point for you. Therefore, the term SAP will be defined. By the end of the video, you'll know what people mostly mean by those three big letters. So let's get going. If someone says that they use SAP at work, this, in fact, is a very general statement. SAP as a company offers many different products, and their names always begin with the letters SAP. So which product is meant? Is it, for example, SAP CRM or SAP PI or SAP ERP? However, if only SAP is mentioned, then most people think of that software the company SAP has become big and famous for. And this is a general software system for enterprises of all kinds. A comprehensive company software, or my favorite definition, a huge packaged business software. And its name is currently SAP ERP. And by the way, the three letters SAP stand for Systems, Applications and Products in Data Processing. But that's not important anymore, because SAP has become a pretty strong brand itself. With that, you're at the end of the video. You've learned that when people talk about an SAP product by using the three letters only, they usually mean SAP ERP, a huge packaged business software. That's all for this video. The next question to be answered is, what does the SAP software look like? Thank you for watching and bye! Welcome! What does SAP ERP look like? After you've already learned that SAP ERP is a packaged business software, and in order to become familiar with it, you'll next see what this software looks like. By the end of the video, you'll be able to distinguish the different parts of an SAP screen. Let's get started. Here you're right in the middle of an SAP ERP window. More precisely, the main screen. In general, it is handled like a window on the Windows operating system. That's quite easy. You can drag it around, and in the upper right corner on the dark blue tab, there are the three typical symbols to minimize, maximize, and close the window. Let's have a closer look at the four bars on top of this screen. At the top left, you see several menus, and what a surprise, the whole part is called Menu Bar. Just below you can find different icons and a command field. This is the standard toolbar, also called System Functions Bar. Depending on the actual screen, some symbols are colored and thus active, while others are grayed out as inactive on that specific screen. When hovering the mouse over an icon, it will rise a bit to a push button, and the tooltip shows the function and sometimes also a keystroke shortcut, which you can use instead of the mouse click. The command field is the only part of the standard toolbar which you can hide. Click on the leftward arrowheads and it's gone. But now a new symbol has appeared, two rightward arrowheads. So with just another click on these, the command field is displayed again. Below the standard toolbar is a two-part frame. First you can read the title of the screen, so it's the title bar. Here it's SAP Easy Access. That's the main or start screen. The second bar in the frame is called Application Toolbar, because it shows functions which are specific to the respective application. That will become clear in a later lecture. So these are the 4 bars on the upper part of the screen: Menu bar, Standard toolbar, Title bar, and Application bar. Let's continue with the other parts of the screen. On the left side, there's the navigation area with the SAP menu, a tree structure with folders. From here, you navigate through the system. The frame can be resized by pointing the mouse on these little dots. The arrow changes to an icon for shifting the line. Right next to the navigation frame is the workspace. On the main screen, you see either an SAP standard image or a company image, for example, a logo. And last, at the bottom of the screen, there's the status bar. SAP uses the left part as a message area. On the right part are different status fields which show information about the system. You can hide them by clicking on this small white triangle. Another click on the triangle and the fields are again visible. Now you also know about the navigation frame, the workspace, and the status bar. With that, you're at the end of the video. In conclusion, you had a very first look at SAP ERP, and you already can distinguish the different parts of an SAP screen. The 4 bars on top: Menu bar, Standard toolbar, Title bar, Application bar. In the middle, the navigation area and the workspace, and at the bottom, the status bar. That's all for this time. The next video is about ERP. Thank you for watching and bye! Hello! Why is it called SAP ERP? For quite a long time, the name of SAP's flagship product was SAP R/3. Over the years, the name changed, and today it's called SAP ERP ECC 6.0 EHP8. If you want to decode these acronyms, then this lecture will enlighten you. Therefore, the concept of ERP software will be shortly discussed. The SAP ERP will be briefly demonstrated, and then the different parts of the product name will be explained. By the end of the video, you'll know what ERP software is, what SAP ERP's 3 application areas are, and you'll be able to decipher the whole product name of SAP's core system. Let's begin with ERP software. Today, every business, regardless of the industry they belong to, require connected systems with efficient information flow from one business process to another. And the software to connect them all in one seamless application is called ERP software. ERP, or Enterprise Resource Planning, is a technical term which dates back from the early 90s but survived as a synonym for business management software. ERP software is therefore the general term for a complete business solution, and it replaced numerous legacy systems. Different corporate data, such as data from sales and distribution, accounting, manufacturing, and so on, are entered, processed, stored, and linked to a central database. All the data is then immediately available throughout the enterprise. One single source of corporate information for all users. Now that you know that ERP software is a general term for complete business solutions, let's have a brief look at the SAP ERP, which is SAP's core business solution. Here you're again on the Start screen. The navigation area on the left side shows the complete SAP menu. And these 3 folders, Logistics, accounting, and human resources contain the corporate data from the various business processes of an enterprise. These folders represent the main functional areas of every business, regardless of their branch or size, and in SAP ERP, they are called application areas. In particular, they include ERP Financials for accounting, ERP Operations for logistics, and ERP HCM Human Capital Management for human resources. The other folders of the SAP menu are more of a technical nature and are not relevant to this course. After this short demonstration of SAP ERP's application areas, the acronyms of the product name will be explained. The full name of SAP's ERP system is SAP ERP ECC 6.0 EHP8. You already know the abbreviations SAP and ERP. Now, ECC is the acronym for Enterprise Central Component, and the old R3 merged into this further developed central component of the ERP system. The number 6.0 just indicates the version. And EHP means Enhancement Package. Such a package contains additional features to the existing central component. The latest package at the present is number 8. Now you can decipher with ease the complete product name, and with that you're at the end of this video. In conclusion, ERP software is one single business solution used to manage a firm's business processes. SAP ERP's 3 application areas are ERP Operations, ERP Financials, and ERP HCM. The ECC in the product name means Enterprise Central Component, and EHP stands for Enhancement Package. Both are followed by sequential numbers, so the full product name is not a mystery to you anymore, isn't it? And that's all for this time. The next video is about the main characteristics of SAP ERP. Thank you for watching and bye! Hello! What are the main characteristics of SAP ERP? Every type of software has its typical characteristics, which allow you to easily recognize it. In this video, the typical key features of SAP ERP or any other ERP software will be presented. So you'll learn about the 3 main characteristics of SAP ERP, which are real-time, components, and integration. By the end of the video, you'll know what these features mean and thus understand why ERP software is that complex. Let's at first have a look at real-time. We are so much used to real-time that we don't even think about it when it is applied. It just goes without a saying. Take, for example, Amazon. If you look up an item there, a note may appear telling you only 6 left in stock. As soon as you confirm an order of this very item, the note immediately changes to only 5 left in stock. And every other customer worldwide gets to know that at the same time. This is known as real-time. In SAP ERP, the corporate data is also available in real time. Data entered and saved by different departments can be seen at once throughout the enterprise. Not a big thing today, but nevertheless an important issue. And by the way, the R in the old name R3 was derived from real-time. Having refreshed the concept of real-time, you're aware of the first main characteristic of SAP ERP. So let's move on to the second, the components. You already know the application areas, namely logistics, accounting, and human resources. Now, these areas contain various components, also called modules. Both terms are commonly used. Components are building blocks, each covering a specific functional area of a company. Let's have a look at the SAP menu and open those application areas and have a look at the components. First, I take the logistics folder. By double-clicking on the folder, it will expand. And here are the components or modules. They describe the various logistic areas of an enterprise, such as materials management, sales and distribution, or production. Components are often mentioned in abbreviations. For example, MM for materials management, SD for sales and distribution, PM for plant maintenance, and CS for customer service. The application area accounting contains, among others, the components FI for financial accounting or CO for controlling. In the human resources folder is, for instance, PY for payroll. These short forms for modules are used equally in all languages, and it is quite common to see them being used in shop advertisements. Now you have an understanding of components or modules. That is to say that SAP ERP is built up of many individual parts, representing single functional areas or departments of an enterprise. So let's talk about the third main characteristic, which is integration. SAP ERP is a business software designed to interconnect all areas of business management. Therefore, all the modules are tightly integrated, and this tight integration means that data is passed through all affected modules. An event in one module automatically triggers an event in another module. You'll learn more about that in later lectures. Now that you know the third main characteristic of SAP ERP, integration, meaning that all components or modules are tightly interconnected, you're at the end of the video. You've learned the three key features of SAP ERP or any other ERP software. First, data is processed in real time. Remember the Amazon example. Data is immediately available to all users. Second, the ERP software is complex and consists of many individual components covering the core functions of a company. Third, the components are fully integrated, meaning that data is passed automatically to all relevant parts of the software. That's all for this time. The next video will show you what there's inside a component. Thank you for watching and bye! Welcome! What's inside an SAP ERP component? To run a company, a huge amount of business tasks have to be performed. This video will show you how this is done with the support of SAP ERP. Therefore, you learn how components are structured and how business tasks are performed via transactions. By the end of the video, you will know the content of components and what transaction codes are. Let's get going with the content of components. In the SAP menu, you've seen so far the application areas and the modules or components. If you expand the tree further, more folders appear. These are likewise called components. Sometimes they are named submodules or subcomponents. In materials management, the first two components are purchasing and inventory management. Purchasing is divided further into purchase order, purchase requisition, and so on. The other components are structured in the same way, and all of them contain folders at different levels. Financial accounting has the folder General Ledger and then the folders Document Entry, Document, Account, and so on. Personnel management is divided into administration, recruitment, and so on. As a result, the most probable core operations of any company, despite its branch or size, are orderly arranged in folders and subfolders. Any user can therefore easily find the desired functional area. Now that you know that a component is like a Russian nested doll, let's move to the next and last step in the SAP menu, the transactions. The folders at the lowest level finally contain the actual operations of a company. That's what employees do on the SAP system, perform business tasks. In purchasing, you can, among other things, display a purchase order. The way through the SAP tree, the menu path is Logistics, Materials Management, Purchasing, Purchase Order, Display. As you can see, there's a little cube next to the entry. In accounting, one can, for instance, enter a GL account document, which can be found via Financial Accounting, General Ledger, Document Entry, enter GL account document. And in human resources, you could maintain HR master data via Personnel Management, Administration, HR master data, Maintain. Each of these business tasks is a separate executable program, an application, or in SAP language, a transaction. Every transaction has a technical name, the transaction code, or in short, the T code, and a description. Here are the three previously shown transactions. ME23N, display purchase order. FP50, enter GL account document. PA30, maintain HR master data. The technical names are denoted by 3 or more characters comprising of letters and digits. So the actual business operations are executed through single transactions, which can be identified by the transaction code and its description. With that, you're at the end of the video. In conclusion, components consist of more components or submodules, and lastly, of transactions. The whole menu is comprised of these components, reflecting the core business operations according to the functional areas of a company. Transactions are the vital elements for executing business operations, and any transaction is a single application denoted by a transaction code. That's all for this time. The next video is called Demonstration for Practice. Thank you for watching and bye! Hello to Demonstration for Practice. This video is about managing favorites in SAP ERP. It will be demonstrated how favorite folders are created, how transactions are added as favorites, and how favorites are changed or deleted. By the end of the video, you'll be able to manage the favorites folders and transactions. Let's begin with the favorite folder. There are different ways of managing favorites. Go to the menu bar and click on the folder Favorites. This menu shows the various options. But you can also simply right-click on the Favorites folder. And then a context menu shows the available options. To create a new Favorites folder, just select Insert Folder. Name this folder SAP Simplified. When your entry is finished, click on the Continue button. The new folder is created. The status bar shows the message "Folder entered in Favorites list." To add another folder, click again right on the folder Favorites. Again, select the menu item Insert Folder. Enter for Absolute Beginners. And click on the Continue button. Now, two folders are created, one called SAP Simplified and the other for Absolute Beginners. To create a subfolder, right-click on the folder for Absolute Beginners and select Insert Folder. Enter the name Customer. And click on the Continue button. So far, you've created two folders on the same level and one subfolder. Next, you'll insert transactions into these folders. Right-click on SAP Simplified and select Insert Transaction from the menu. Enter FB50 and click on the Continue button. The transaction FB50 is now a favorite within the folder SAP Simplified. Next, right-click on the folder for Absolute Beginners and select again Insert Transaction. Enter ME53N and click on the Continue button. Now you've created a favorite transaction within the folder for Absolute Beginners. Next, you'll change the first favorite. Right-click on the first favorite. Select Change Favorites. Type Posting and click on the Continue button. With that, you've changed the name of your favorite transaction. Next, you'll delete everything you've created so far. Therefore, right-click on the folder Favorites. And select Delete all favorites. Now, click on the Yes button. And so, all folders and their contents are deleted at once. And with that, you're at the end of this demonstration for practice. In conclusion, you've learned how to create favorite folders, how to add transactions as favorites, how favorites are changed and deleted. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching and bye!